But the other thing I'm interested in is, I mean, like, what is your, if you were going to present or exhibit history, you know, in an installation or an exhibit, I mean, what are some of the ideas you would have, or what are, you know, if, from my perspective of as an historian, what would I need to learn to be able to do something like that?
Well, for example, in my work, I study about Dr. Yaxanh. He's a Swiss and French, and he came to Vietnam to bring the rubber plant from Africa to Vietnam. So from this kind of point of the history, then I create the other kind of narrative fictions, and also combine with the research field, that what I seen and what I record from the farm, from the rubber plantation farms and with the farmers. So it create a kind of narrative.
Okay.
And when you go to the work, when you see the work, I would like to give some kind of instruction. So you would follow into a history from the history point, and combine with the contemporary daily life.
Okay.
So that's one of the...
So the point would be to find out the truth, or to get like a feeling, or to like what, you know, what are the kind of ideas that you think you would want people to get from what they see?
History, of course. First thing is the history, and then the feeling, of course, is very personal from the artist, from my own personal view. So it's also not just to look at the history as an illustration, but also to view it with different layers, different meanings from my viewpoint. And then the audience also, they have their own point of view too.
Right.
So,
I mean, actually, everything you're saying is very similar to what we would call postmodern theory in, say, North America, where you're aware of competing meanings. You have to like reflect on what you yourself are doing and why you are choosing the information you are, and you understand what I'm saying? So it's I mean, it's interesting, and this is one of the reasons why I'm interested in artists in the art world, is that I think in many ways the way artists think is similar to the way that historians the way I've been trained is to think, which is just to see things as kind of multi-layered and complex.
Yes,
and
yes.
Your point is not to say this is the truth. It's there are many ways of looking at it, and so in that sense, in some ways, I think here maybe artists have as good of a chance at sort of presenting history in a more accurate way, or accurate Jinsak, but Jinsak would be Nahum. You don't want to like say accurate because you're showing it's complex, right? Not because you're saying this is the truth, this is what happened. Yeah.
And I think an interesting artwork is always have to have this personal artistic view. That would be that would make the work much more interesting.
Right.
So the artistic view is very important
Right.
I think. For example, one artist in Saigon,
Mhm.
her name is Thảo Nguyên, and she's doing a research on the Japanese colonization in Vietnam. It's very quick,
Mm.
like a few years, but
Yeah.
it's also make Vietnam has this nạn đói, and
Oh, yeah.
she's
So
doing
famine,
this.
yeah?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I don't know that word in English.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But then she's also found out that the Japanese asked the Vietnamese people to get rid of rice
Mm.
and instead planting the jute plant
Oh, okay. For clothing or
for
something?
clothing
Oh, okay.
and for I don't know what for
Jute?
clothing.
Maybe, or fuel? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Jute, I think.
I'm not sure.
Bags. I don't know. Anyway.
So then she's doing this work with the jute plant, not just of course it's one inspiration from the history, but then she's also do her own work with the jute. She came to the jute plant
Yeah.
and doing a kind of performance in the jute field,
Uh-huh.
and it's very personal, very poetic
I
kind of
see.
performance by her own. So if you look at the final work as a video recording her performance in the jute field,
Right.
you don't really get the point of the history or things like that. But until you do the artist talk with her or you read the statement, then you would understand a bit
I see.
like the history, how the history appear
I
in
see.
the daily life nowadays, and
Okay.
how it reflect on the artist's work.
I see. Right. That's really interesting because, I mean, you know, the historian is not supposed to be present in the work. So
Yes.
you as the individual are not supposed to be there. But it's impossible not to be there. And when we read history, one question we ask is, who is this person,
Yes.
and why are they writing the way they are, and what could be influencing them? So
Yes.
in the sense, what you're saying is, like, from an artist's perspective, rather than kind of concealing that, you can celebrate it, or
Yes, yes.
reveal it. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so the video stopped working in the middle of things. I'm not sure why. I might have the wrong card. Yes, in there. That is the word. But the good news is that I was recorded in sound. So what I'm going to do is I'll video some things around here of imagery, and then if I use
Well, I can send you images like the work, some of the
oh,
video
yeah,
work,
that would be good too.
or
yeah.
the work that the other artist doing with the jute plant.
Yeah.
So you can just
Oh, that would be
edit.
fantastic, yeah. But if there's, I mean, I think it's only a little bit that was like that, but what I can do is I can just use some of the imagery from here and then have the sound
Yes,
over
yes.
that. That should be fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because that should be,
Remember to check with the card.
I know there's one, I maybe put the wrong one, I have no idea. Oh, you know what it was? We went over 12, 15 minutes probably. It
So it
automatically stops at like
automatically-
15 minutes, that's it, okay. I totally forgot about that because, but we probably talked more than,
Yeah,
we talked
probably.
quite a while, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, but that should be fine. Oh, that explains it, yeah, good.